Hey folks, Dr. Groovy time. Scott Grove from Groovy Music Lessons right here. Mandolin for guitar players. Just a 15-minute intro into this sucker, and you ought to be able to figure it out enough to go grab one and actually start playing the sucker by yourself. Okay, so if you're a proficient enough guitar player, this will get you there probably more than anything. And also, you aspiring fiddle players out there, it's tuned the same as a fiddle. So it's the same thing. No frets on the fiddle. Otherwise, the tuning's the same. For you guitar pickers, yeah, well, I got a little guitar here. This is my first act guitar. Okay, so what it is it's these four strings here. And that's the way I want you to think of it, is the low string, okay, is your, what we got, E, A, D, G, right? Same as a bass guitar, four-string bass guitar. We're not going to use these two strings, but we have to use our guitar knowledge, because that's the way I'm billing this one, is for guitar players to learn how to play the mandolin really quickly. So we got E, A, D, G, okay? E, A, D, G. Now we're basically going to pretend like we're turning that guitar upside down, like we've always wanted to be Hendrix, turn our junk upside down. Now is your chance to do it. Unlike a lot of double-stringed instruments, a mandolin is actually every string is simply doubled. There are no octaves going on. So you actually have identical strings twice. Okay. Again, they are tuned E, A, D, G. I want you to think of this thing backwards and upside down, just like Hendrix would. Why? Because that's the way we're going to do it. E is on the bottom. E, A, D, G. Okay? E, A, D, G. E, A, D, G. So it's kind of looking at another guitar player across the room or directly across from you. It's always kind of like people are like, well, if you're left-handed and you take a lesson from somebody, it's a mirror image. I think it's a lot easier to like flip the screen around, so that type of thing. It's easier to learn, um, so things aren't poking all the way different ways. But all you gotta do is those four strings off of a guitar, and simply think of it as it's just kind of backwards. If you actually turned it like Hendrix and played it this way, it's exactly like you think it would be. Everything would be played like you would think. It's strung up normal. The notes would be correct. Okay, so what we have now, since we have the luck anyway of having an E string down at the bottom like we do a guitar, okay, we have the E, A, D, G. Everything is, all the skinny strings are where the thick ones are, and all the thick ones are where the skinny ones are. But let's go for the G chord. Okay, what we have is our E string, like I said, we're familiar with. So what do? We go to the 3rd fret on the E string, and we start looking like, our regular G chord, but we have to build it backwards. And again, 2 of our strings are broke off, okay? So we got the G, because it's the E string, sorry, up to the 3rd fret. Then you think about it like a guitar player, then you go, okay, on the A string, it's the 2nd fret, which is a B note. And then on a G chord, we don't do anything else till we get to the high E or the B string maybe. So the next 2 are just open, because that's the way a G chord is if you're thinking like guitar. So it's like backward. Here's the low E, A string, D string, and the G string. So we got, okay, so there's your G. So you would think of everything like that. You just figure it out real quick, because it's just like a guitar and inverted like I showed you. And as guitar players, we know all you got to do is take a G chord and move it down one string. But what are we going to do this time? If we're going to go to C, we got to go up. Everything's backwards. So we take these and we move them up for a C. Okay. So we got third fret here on our A string, second fret here on the D string, and open G string. But we can actually add a G note because it's there. It's a fifth. We can add it on the E string just to fill it in, or not, because in C there's also an open E, which is here. So G, C, back to G. Now we need a D. Okay, just gonna do a few chords and that, and a few licks, and that will get you on your way. I think you'll be able to play these things right out of the gate. Order you know, cheapy Washburn or something. This here's actually the Epiphone, but these are like $600. So you might want to go a little cheaper to check it out. Like get an A series. This is a F series, which means a Florentine. It's just a body style. The A series is the one that's more of like a teardrop. Okay, so again, your G is just like you would think and like you would deduce. And C, back to G. Now D is kind of funky, but you just have to use your brain again like a guitar player. It's like, okay, if we use this E that we're so familiar with, okay, where we don't use that in a regular D chord on guitar because, but think about it. You got that high E string, which we basically have here on a guitar, and when we're playing a D chord, we play it on the second fret of the high E string, so we can use that. Is there an A in a D chord? That's the next string. By golly, I think there is. We can use that if we want. What string is it? Actually, A all by itself. So it's good to go. So we have the F sharp that is normally the second fret on your high E. It is still the second fret on our high E. So we get a few times we get breaks like that. So, and then the A string, that's part of the D chord. Then the D, well, by golly, that better be part of the D chord. What do we got left? The G string. A is another part of a D chord, which is normally the second fret of our G string. Our G string's up here now. So we just end up with this. We got two fingers on the second fret on both sides. So we get our suspended second. There's our four stuff. So you get to do that kind of thing. So if we have G, C, G, to D, okay, you know that our 1, 4, 5 patterns are going to be basically what sees us through. Remember, this is a bluegrass instrument and it's not a ukulele. Okay, so playing it the way I was just doing was like a ukulele. Okay, so we would actually, you play them on the up strokes, just like the snare drums. Okay, it's like. Okay, so that's kind of the thing to remember. A few little things just to get you guys going because I'm still a bad boy. I got 5 minutes left because of protecting my my civil rights. Still allowed to be 15-minute videos, so hey, they keep me under control at least. The things to remember are the typical things from, okay, brown eyed girl stuff. If you're in G, which we hopefully are, okay, so we've got 3 and then 2. Then we're going to go, I'm calling them backwards. So 3 and 2, then 5 and 3, 7 and 5. Backward. And of course, C, the same thing. You can get your G7, of course, take your G note on your E string, flat it by 2, go to your C, that's always nice, just bring that third down, back to G, D, okay. Now our big scale, let's do it in G, is a long stretchy thing, and then I basically have to get out of here, and you got to learn it on your own, again, because of sad-ass people on YouTube. Here's the scale backward. Okay, if you are going backward, which I am, we're going on your high E string, and we're going to go that way backward. 3, 2, go in the next string, 7, 5, 3, 2, next string, 7, 5. Again, 3, 2, 7, 5, 3, 2, 7, 5. One last time, okay? 3, 2. Next string is 7, 5, 3, 2, and then 7, 5. And if you do it really weird, and if you go backward it, okay, so just think of things that way and you'll get all the chords. Just think of upside down, inverted, and so forth, and all the chords will come to you. Like if you're thinking about A, it's like, okay, I got an A string on my guitar, but I have to fret these two together. We got a low E string, but because it's upside down, so you just think of it just like Hendrix would have had to, or anybody else that plays just flat out upside down. Your brain can do it pretty quick. And then you'll get all your little lead things. Lost my pick. Get my little jazz pick. So whatever you use, hey, first time I tried a jazz pick, they just happened to be laying around. I think maybe Wyatt sent me this one. I can't remember who sent me what, but thanks for it. Okay, so mandolin is not as scary as you think. Again, for anybody who didn't see me when I did my video on electrifying it, very cool. And remember, grommets, little rubber grommets, any Ace Hardware store or whatever, always good for shutting up any instrument back here, your anything with Bigsby's or up on the headstocks of your Strats or whatever. So once again, Scott Grove, GroovyMusicLessons.com, mandolin for guitar pickers. Okay, I'm gonna try to turn this off. Bye.